This conference will now be recorded.
Jenkins. Okay, so let's get started. So we'll start with a new tool, which is Jenkins. We already have a fair idea on what is Git, how it works, what are the common use cases or the common things which I should know before I get started with Git. Now we move a little bit ahead and we talk about Jenkins. Now, why is Jenkins important? So people say Jenkins is the heart of any CI/CD project or any DevOps project. If you're talking about, it is the heart of that DevOps or CI/CD project. Why do we say that? Jenkins is a CI tool, continuous integration. So let me first put a scenario in front of you and then we'll see what are we talking about. So let me say that the client has given me a deadline of 3 weeks. Okay, so yep, 3 weeks. So this 3 weeks should include everything: development, testing, deployment, and everything. Okay, now the developer takes 2 weeks. Then what is my tester going to do? What is my deployment guy going to do? So they are in a time crunch situation. So primarily what I'm seeing here is that because the developer is taking a lot of time to complete the code, it is overall delaying the delivery of my software. Now, I am not expecting that the developer will give me the code fully functional, 100% working code on day one. But at least if he can give me the part of work which he has done, let me say he has done 10% of the work. So if he can push this 10% of the work to the Git repository, other people like QA team, testing team, all these people will be aware, okay, this is what has happened, this is what is complete, this is what is expected. So I can have a better visibility. Also, I will not be in a time crunch situation, or if there is a time crunch, I'm well aware of the situation before the last moment. So when I say that the developer should continuously push his code to Git, I want that this code should be visible to everyone, in the sense my tester, my QA, my security team, my deployment team, and they should also parallelly start their task. It should not happen that my tester is waiting for the code to be deployed full-fledgedly and then he will start the QA work and then he will do all kind of things. Now, if I do parallel work, I do save a lot of time and the deliverable can be, or the timelines can be met with a better understanding. So we now say that there is a process called CI, okay, or continuous integration. In this process, the expectation is that whenever the developer is developing a piece of code, it may be like 10% done, 20% done, whatever work he has done, he will put it to the source control. In my example, it is Git. From Git, I will take the code and put it in my CI process or my CI tool, which is going to be Jenkins for me. So this CI tool will build the code for me. So building the code is nothing but it is compiling the code. So when the code get compiled, I will come to know what are the syntactical issues, okay, or environmental issues with the program which is going to come to me. Once I have resolved all the syntax issues, all the dependencies, I can do a round of testing and I am ready with my report where I say the code is built and tested. It means I have compiled the code and also I have tested the code. So the code is ready, at least from the perspective of build and test. So as soon as my developer will commit the code, he will push the code to Git. From the Git, one second, from Git, automatically the code will be picked up and it will be compiled and tested against the automatic test cases which I'm going to put inside my Git, inside my Jenkins, and it will do all the work. Let's see one by one. What are the benefits? We already spoke about the benefits, but still, what are the benefits of using this technique? The quality goes on a higher side, or there is an improvement in quality. How? Whenever a developer writes a code, okay, he is very much sure that within 5 minutes or within a very small interval of time, he is going to get a report. So we have some QA tools like SonarQube, which will tell you the quality of the code, whether you have given duplicate lines, whether you have uh, whether you have written everything correctly. So I'm not only checking the syntax, but I'm also checking the code quality, how many lines of duplicate you have in your code. If there are some variables which are unused but you have declared in your program, have you followed proper indentation or not? Have you given proper comments or not? So these kind of things can also be checked, and overall the quality of the code and quality of the deliverable will be increased. The productivity increases because people are working in parallel, and the moment you work in parallel, you give better results. Risk is less because if you commit to the client that I'm going to deliver you this product in 3 weeks, you know exactly where you are, what part of the work is complete, what part of the work is still pending. Then you, if there are errors, you detect it then and there and fix them very easily. And developers integrate their code several times in a day. Now, because of that, frequently the code deploy will happen, the code commit will happen, and the entire CI/CD process will run n number of times. So why Jenkins? Now I came to know, okay, there is something called CI, continuous integration. It is mandatory for me to do CI so that I maintain the quality and timelines. Understood. But why Jenkins? So first let's understand Jenkins is a open source automation server written in Java. So first thing, Jenkins is written in Java. It's an open source and it will help you to automate all the non-human part of the software development process with continuous integration and facilitating technical aspect of continuous delivery. Now, let me say I am a DBA, and as a DBA, I get up at night 11 o'clock. I do take some backups and then I send an email and then I sleep. Now, every day in, day out, I'm doing the same activity. Now, there will be a time where I will feel frustrated because I'm not adding any skill to my CV. I am still doing the same thing. And when once I'm having a fair experience, if I go for a job change, what will I say? I have done this work. I woke up at night and I did a DB copy and I slept. No. So basically, you're not adding any CV value. Apart from that, from the company perspective, if you see, there is an individual who simply takes a backup. It doesn't do anything else. So there is a huge dependency on this guy. And second thing is that the guy is not that productive. They can say that the guy is not productive and we are very much dependent on this guy. If he goes on leave or anything like that, I will be in a soup. So what the organization think is, why should I not go and automate this process? The moment I automate this process, I will go away, or I will let many things go from my head. I'm not human dependent. I will have no more quality issues. I will be very much on the time always. So all these features will come if I start automation. More importantly, there is something called time to market, which is always there on my head. So I have to fix this. Fine. Why should I use Jenkins? There are so many tools available in the market. The first thing is it is open source tool. It is easy to install. It is easy to configure. It is extendable. There are something called plugins, and there is something called distributed build where you can have master slave configuration. So if the load increases, you can have n number of servers, which will help you to get your work done faster. Okay. Now, what we will be doing is we will first install Jenkins, and then we will see is the configuration easy or not easy. Then we'll see what are the plugins we are talking about. How can we extend the functionality of Jenkins, and what does distributed build mean to me? So first thing first, let me go to my console and log into my AWS account. So this is my AWS account. And if you remember, I was doing all the stuff from Mumbai region. So if I come down here, I can see that as of now, there is a Git server which is running. I don't want this right now, so I can terminate this. I should have done it before, but I'm simply terminating it or shutting it down because I don't need it right now. I will, whenever I need, I'll bring a new server up. So as of now, I have terminated it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a new server up and I'm going to say it's a Jenkins server. Same thing I'll do. I'll go with the AMI selection, which is my Amazon Linux 2. So this is my OS. Instance type is my CPU and RAM. So 1 core CPU, 1 GB RAM, which is T2 micro. In instance detail, I will go with one instance at this point of time. The rest I'll leave as it is. In add storage, I'll go with 8 GB of storage. In tag section, I will go with name and I will name it as Jenkins. Jenkins. Okay, next. Now in the security group section, I will mention that I will use this Devops security group, and few things which I would like to know is whether port number 80 is open, port number 22 is open, port number 443 is open. Now Jenkins default port, if you go to Google and say Jenkins default port number, at which port does Jenkins run? So to tell me that Jenkins run at 8080 port number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this, okay? And I also want to put 8080 here. So I'll do that later, but as of now, just want to tell you that I'm using Devops security group. Review and launch, and then let's ignore the warning and go ahead and launch it. So I'm using this Devops Mumbai key as a password, and I'll say let's go ahead and launch it. So it will take some time and it will get launched. But before it is launched, what I'll do is I'll go to security, I'll scroll a little bit down, I'll go to my security group, and here in the inbound section, I'm going to add my 8080 port number here. Add a rule. It's a custom TCP. Say 8080. Just say that I can connect from anywhere IPv4. Say it's a Jenkins port. Just scroll a little bit down, save this rule, and you're all set. Back to your EC2, back to your instance, and this is your Jenkins machine, and it is running. So I'll take this IP address and I'll try to install Jenkins here. So how do I connect? I'll say putty, and it says IP address. Put it like this. I can also say that it is EC2 minus user at the rate, because I know the default user is EC2 user at the rate the public IP address whatever I have got, and then I will go to appearance, change the appearance a little bit. Let me say it is like 16 the font size, and then I'll say SSH auth browse, and I'm using this Mumbai. Open. See, it says do you want to connect? I say yeah, I want to connect. The moment I say I would like to connect, it says you need to run this command. Fine, let me run this command. So I gave -y because I don't want that. It should always ask me, do you want to proceed? Do you want to proceed? So meanwhile, when it is installing, I'll come to the official website of Jenkins, which is jenkins.io. So this is the official website of Jenkins, and here Jenkins is telling you what all things it has and the features which we just now told, like you can do a CI/CD process, you have plugins, installation is easy, extendable configuration is easy, distributed build is there. So all these features are what we are going to explore now. So before exploring that, I'll come to this section called downloads. And when I come to download section, I can see there is something called hardware and software requirement. So I'll go here and check what is the hardware and software requirement they are talking about. second, let me push it here. So it says that it is recommended if you are using my services, go for 4 GB RAM and 50 GB disk space. But if you don't have that much, you can also go with 256 MB of RAM and 1 GB of free space. So bare minimum, I need this, but it is good if you give me this kind of configuration. Okay. Then it says that's my hardware requirement. The software requirement is that Java should be installed. Java should be installed. Then it's a Java application, so I need Java to be installed well in advance. If you have Windows operating system, then Windows support policy and all those things are there. But I'm using a different machine altogether. So it's an Amazon Linux machine. So Amazon Linux machine, if you go here, say etc and OS release. So this is about the operating system's detail. So it says the name is Amazon Linux, but it is very much like CentOS, REHL, and Fedora. It means whatever is working on REHL, whatever is working on CentOS, whatever is working on Fedora will also work here. Okay, let's clear all these things. So I'll come here and I will look for Fedora, Debian, and all those things, Red Hat. So Fedora is here. Yep. So this is Fedora. So this is what I will be doing. So you can either use this one or you can use this Red Hat CentOS one. Your call, whichever you want. But one thing which is very much sure is that I need Java first. Is Java already there? So Java is not there. Now, just I'll use a small command here called Maven. Okay. And later I'll come back and say what is Maven. Okay. So MVN, sorry, short form is MVN. So I need Maven and I need Java. So first I will install Maven and automatically it will install Java for me. Okay, how do I install? Yum install MVN or Maven. Okay, either you go with Maven or if you say no, I need Java only, then you can say Java. And I know which version I'm looking at. So I am looking at -1.8 star -y. So I'll say I'm looking for Java and it is Java 8 basically. So I say Java -1.8 star and -y. So, okay, it says you need to be a root user to perform all these actions. So let me become a root user, sudo -. I will just give a host name like Jenkins sudo -. And now I'll give this command. So now what it is doing is it is going and pulling the latest Java 8 component for me. So there is some 88 components and it is one by one pulling everything. And then it is installing it. Now once this is done, the Java is available for me. So let's go ahead and see once this is complete. Still installing Java JDK. Okay, so if you don't put Java here or if you don't install Java, the tool or the Jenkins tool will not work properly. Give me a second or so, it will get installed. So first time when you come up with a new hardware or a new VM, generally it takes more than usual, but again, it will depend on your internet speed, your machine's configuration. So I am using just 1 GB RAM and 1 core CPU. So it will take a little bit time, but it's done. If I come here and say Java -version, I can see this Java thing is installed for me. So it is 1.8.0302. So basically this is the version of Java which is available for me. So clear everything. So the prerequisite or the stuff is done. So I am going to install the LTS version, which is long-term support. So the company will provide me support for a long time is what it is saying. And let me run these commands one by one. So the first command is nothing but it is creating a repository for you. Basically, you come here and see, sorry, not here, in etc yum dot repos, there is a repo being created with the name as jenkins.repo. So this is the first command. The second is you import the keys here. And if you remember, this sudo yum upgrade I've already done. Okay, so it's saying no packages are marked for update. And then I will go ahead with this. So I've already installed Java 11. Okay, sorry, Java 8. So it is saying it is better if you go with Java 11. So you can install, there's no problem there. But again, it is optional. Anyhow, it is saying that if you run this command, I don't recognize this piece of command. Better you run this command. Okay, so there is something called EPL, so enterprise additional language package, something like this. EPL full form is there. Just let me look into that. Even I don't remember what is the full form of this. EPEL. EPEL, cannot find it here. Right, the web page is only not available. So EPEL is extra packages for enterprise Linux. EPEL, extra packages for enterprise Linux. So it's saying better you run this command rather than running that. So now what is happening is, so using this command, it is trying to pull all the extra packages which are there, and it says, would you like to proceed? I say why, enter. So that's done for me. Now I come back here, back to this place, and then I can say yum install Jenkins. So now Jenkins will get installed for me. Would you like to proceed? I'll say yes, I would like to proceed. And then the daemon is getting initialized. So what is daemon? So daemon is nothing but it's a service, or it's a component which is running in the background. So it is taking some time. Let me just check here, my internet speed is okay or there is a problem with that. The internet is okay. 50 Mbps, 60 Mbps is a good speed in India. Okay. Okay, so it is 62% only done. Okay, so let's wait for this. 81%. Generally it does not take this much time, but I know I don't know, today is taking more than what generally it takes. Anyhow, so we are done. Why? So done. Then it says sudo systemctl daemon reload, means start the daemon. Now once Jenkins is there, you can just come here and say that I want to start the service of Jenkins. Then it says let's check the status. What's the status? So I can see it is active and running. So once this is done, I'm all set. What I can do is I can come here, take the IP address of this machine, whatever IP address you get, come here and say I would want to launch this Jenkins UI. So IP address followed by colon 8080. So the moment you give 8080, it will say, please wait, Jenkins is ready to work. So when Jenkins pops up or when Jenkins starts, it will ask you for the initial password. So just give it some time. it is going to come up with this. So this is what it is saying. This is where you will find the initial password. Just come and take that initial password. So this is the initial password. I will request you to keep it safe somewhere so that in future, if you need it, you may go ahead and use it. So then it says, would you like to install the suggested plugins, or would you like to select the plugins? So I will say I want to go with the suggested plugins. Now, the question is, what is this plugin all about? What should I do with the plugin? So to explain this, I will put it like this. Now, when you buy a brand new phone, okay, it is just a phone and it's just a hardware. I'll say it's not a phone also, it's a hardware. Then you plug in a charger, put some charge there, then you put your SIM inside that, and then you can start making calls. Means you can send and receive calls, you can send and receive SMS. Once that is done, you start installing apps. Let me say you install an app called Facebook, you install an app called WhatsApp, you install an app called LinkedIn. So these are apps. Now, the moment you install Facebook, your mobile phone starts behaving like a uh, social media platform where you can do anything what you want. You can post photos and all. Then when you install a LinkedIn, you can go ahead and browse your professional profiles, like who's doing what and all those things. When you install a radio, you can start listening radio. When you install, let me say, a music player, you can listen to songs. So primarily the same hardware or the same mobile phone is acting as different items once you install different plugins. Now the exact same thing happens on Jenkins. When you start with Jenkins, it's nothing but a bare metal with few softwares. But on this software, I can install a few items, like I can install uh, I can install AWS, or I can install Kubernetes, or I can install Docker, and then my Jenkins start behaving like that particular software. So this is what benefit I will get once I start with Jenkins plugin. Okay, now we'll wait for some time for this to come up. So this is how a Jenkins architecture looks like. So let me just expand this. So the Jenkins expectation is that I will be working as a CI server or a continuous integration server, and I will be centrally controlling everything. So as a developer, you may be a Java developer, you may be a PHP developer, you may be a Node.js developer, whatever code you have, okay, you put it in the source code repository. It may be GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever it is, you put it here. I will integrate myself, Jenkins will say, I will integrate myself with your source code repository. And whenever you commit the code, I will take the latest code from the repository, bring it to my CI server, and with the help of plugins like Maven, I will compile the code, or I will build the code. With a test automation tool like Selenium, I will run the test cases and I will see whether your code is meeting all the functionalities requested or not. If everything is okay, I will make it ready for release. If it is not okay, I will quickly send you a feedback stating that there is a problem. Please go ahead and rectify whatever work you have done. Okay, so this is how Jenkins work. Okay, so as a developer, you push your code to the repo. From repo, Jenkins picks the code and just goes ahead and deploys it to the test server or the server which you have mentioned. So I can see still it is going on. No worries. So this is where we are, or this is what we are trying to achieve. So we started here. We are planning, or we are saying that, okay, we are developers where we will write the code. Once we have written the code, what you will do is you will come here to your code which is there in Git or GitHub, and then from there you push the code to your Jenkins server. In Jenkins already I have this build tool which is Maven or Gradle. I already have test tool like JUnit and Selenium integrated, which will build and test the code for me. Once it is done, I will deploy the code, and here the CT process or the deployment process will start. Okay, So we are not talking about this half right now. So let me first concentrate on this side. And as of now, we are not talking about this side, but we will later come to this part also. So let's erase this and come back here and wait for this to finish. I don't have any other thing, but this has to finish. So it says it has finished. What's your username? So I'll say my username is admin. Let me keep everything as normal, small caps. So I give as admin. I'll give my password as Jenkins123, J caps, Jenkins123. Full name is, let me say, Vikas. Email address is, let me say, vikas2312@gmail.com. So this is any anonymous email address which I have given. But for you, if you want to configure it correctly, it will be good if you put a valid email address. And then it is saying your Jenkins is available at this host address or this IP and this particular port number. If you see, we are also connected to the same location. Then save and finish. It says Jenkins is ready. Start using Jenkins. Let's get started. Now, this is the welcome page, or this is the page. So now if you come here, you can see, or this is the place from where you can do almost everything. Everything what you want to do on Jenkins can be done from here. What is the first thing I want to do? So I want to create a job. So here the task is known as a job, item. So whatever task you want to do, you can say it's a job for me or it's an item for me. So let's go ahead and create a job. So I'm going to say my simple job. Okay. When you enter an item name, you can also see along with that there are so many types of Jenkins project available, like Freestyle project, pipeline project, multi-configuration project, folder, multi-branch, and organizational folder. Out of all these things, we will be majorly using Freestyle project or a pipeline project. Okay. There is one more thing called Maven project, which we will install a plugin and we will get that. But most of the time we will be using either a Freestyle project or a pipeline project. So let me say I go with Freestyle project. Okay. So the moment I say okay, a new window will open for me, which will say, tell me the description. What do you want to do here? So I will simply say this is a simple Jenkins job. Okay, I don't have any SCM right now, so I'll leave as it is. I don't have any build trigger. I will leave as it is. I'll come to all these things one by one. Okay, I'll come to build environment later. Here is where I am talking build right now. So in build, I will say add build step and I will execute a shell command. I will say echo hello Jenkins. Okay, so I just gave a simple shell command, hello Jenkins. I say apply, save, and that's it. So I can see one project called simple job has been created. And if you want to run the program manually, then as of now in the build history, you see nothing is there. So if you want to run it manually, you click on this build now. So build is scheduled and this build got executed. Okay, so this is UTC time. So if you click on this job, you can go inside the console output and you can see that this particular command was executed, hello Jenkins, and the output is hello Jenkins, and it was success, or it finished successfully. Now this, if you see here, it's a green tick here or a green symbol here. See here, there's a green symbol here. The moment you do something wrong, it will turn out to be red. So let me just go here and change. So I'll go to this configure section and here I will say build, and here I'm going to just make a small change. I know this is wrong, echo hello world. I'll apply, save, and I will build it again. So this time when I build it, I will see that the job has failed and I get a red symbol. Go here, go inside the output of this job. And here, when I'm trying to run this command, it says ECO command not found. So it is not a valid command. What are you trying to run here? So it has failed. So I came to know, oh, wow, okay, fine. I know ECO is not there. So back to the project, back to the configure section, back to the build section. And here I'm going to say ECHO and apply, save. Okay, and then once you have done the changes, go ahead and build it. This time it is again successful. Okay, so this is how you can see whether the job is successful or it has failed. So this is the most simple job which you'll be writing on Jenkins. Now what we'll do is, let me say my requirement is that whenever a developer is writing a code and his code is failing due to some or the other reason, the code has failed, the developer should get a email notification. Okay, so when you're working with the organization, definitely you will not be using Gmail, but in my example I'll be using a Gmail account so that I can send notifications in case there is a failure. Okay, so what I will do is I will come here to the dashboard, and from the dashboard I'll go to Jenkins, to the actual page or the main page, and here I will go to this place called Manage Jenkins. Now when you come to this page called Manage Jenkins, there is some error messages or something. So there is some Manage Jenkins here. So here you find something called Manage Plugins, and if you read through this, it says add, remove, disable, enable plugins that extend the functionality of Jenkins. So I want to extend the functionality of Jenkins. So I will go inside this plugin section. Here I will say that there are 4 tabs. Updates means you have installed something and the update is available. Available means it is available on open internet on Jenkins. If you want, you can install it. Installed means you have already installed that. And advanced means if you have some custom plugins, like plugins which you have written, then you can use them. I'll come to available section, and here I'm looking for email extension or extend X. So I can find this email extension. Okay, wait a second now. Email. Wait a second. Okay, I don't see it in available. Let me see if it is already installed for me by default. It is already installed for me by default. So in the recommended packages, it was there and it got installed. So I find this email extension plugin. So using this plugin, I can publish emails and allow every configure aspect of email notification when email is sent, who should receive the email and what the email says. So basically using this plugin, which is email extension plugin, I will be sending automated emails to my user, to my developer, who I want to send. So this is for me in the installed section. If it is for you also there in the installed section, very good. If it is not there, then you can better install it by going to available section like this and click like this, that I want to install this, and just say download now and restart. Download now and install after restart. So it will get downloaded, then just restart your machine and it will get installed. I'll show you these things in the coming classes also, but for time being, I can see that this email extension plugin which I had is pre-installed for me. So I'll go back to my dashboard. Here I will go back to Manage Jenkins. This time I will go to this configure system, and if I scroll and go towards the end, it is still opening. I don't know why it is slow today, but generally it will not be slow like this. So if you go towards the, wait, not this one second, Manage Jenkins, here global tool configuration. So if you go towards the end, strange, it is not here, back to this place, configure system, And if you keep going towards the end, almost towards the end, okay, you will find there is something called email notification. Just ignore this. And just on top of that, you find extended email notification. So we are going to use this extended email notification. We don't want the simple email notification. Simple means that it will not have those many functionalities. So I want this extended email notification. Fine. So what I will do is I need Gmail server details. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my Gmail account and just make sure that I am using a proper username and password. So that's important because most of the time people tend to forget their username and password, especially I do so. So what I'll do is just log out from here. And when I say sign in again, so this is my email address. I'll copy this. Then I'll open a Cognito window for myself. And Cognito window. And go to Gmail and say Gmail. And I will say sign in. And this is my email address. Next. Okay, so this is my password. Okay, so there are a lot of messages. Let me delete everything. Okay, so what I can see is the first time when I log in, this is a complete blank screen like this. Now, I need to make a small change here on this email because Google will not allow me to work in case I don't do that. So go here and say less secure apps. So it is basically you are asking Google that allow me to use less secure apps. So if you see here, when you come, your less secure apps thing will be off by default. This simple meaning is that Gmail will not allow any third party to use its features. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to come here and enable it. So you basically say, no worries, Gmail allow third party tools like Jenkins or any other tool to use your features. The moment you enable things like this, you will get an email here, a critical security alert. Just go ahead and say that it was me. So it's a valid thing which is happening. Yes, it was me. It's a valid thing which is happening. So you need not worry. Just let me do what I'm trying to do. So your less secure app should be enabled. Okay. Prerequisite 1. The second prerequisite is I need SMTP server details for Gmail on Jenkins. So I will need this SMTP server details. Okay. So these are the server details, smtp.gmail.com. So I will be using all these things. Okay. So let me just go to my, okay. Okay. So extended email notification, it says SMTP server. So SMTP server, I just now copied it. So it is smtp.gmail.com. Then SMTP port. So SMTP port is 465. 465. Default user email suffix. So what email is he using? One second. So default email suffix is @gmail.com. So I'm using the Gmail domain basically. Then the message what I'm going to send is as a plain text. I don't want to send it as HTML. List ID and all these things if you're using a bulk email header or anything like that. Now default recipient. Whom do you want to send these emails? So for the time being, I will send it to myself only. So default recipient, who's going to receive it? So this guy is going to receive it. In reply to also, this guy is going to be there. In case there is an emergency, whom would you like to send the message? Okay, and what all domains are allowed, like @outlook.com, or what all domains are allowed here. So you can give all the thing here. Excluded recipients means whom you don't want to send the email. So let me say in a DL, there is like 50 email addresses. Out of that, 3 you don't want to send. So you give the emails whom you don't want to send the email address. Then what is your default subject line? So this is going to my default subject line, and I will just put it here that I'll just put a message. Jenkins sent it. Something like this. Okay, so I'm just putting a extra message here on top of what the subject line is given. Maximum attachment is -1, means you can attach any volume or anything what you want to attach. The content, what should be there in the email? I'll put it like this: hi user or hi developer. Hi developer, this is a automated email from Jenkins. Thanks, Jenkins admin. Okay, just put it like this. Pre-send means before sending you want to check anything, or in like default post-send means delivery message and all. Then debug mode and all that. Then that's it. Okay, that's it. I don't think you should be doing anything else. You can say apply, save. Now, in this job only, I will go to the job. I'll go to the configure section. And here in the post build action, in the last step, I will see there is this editable email notification. This I'm getting because I have installed that plugin. Okay. So here in the editable email notification, if you want to disable it, you can click here, but I want to enable it from project. So simple job. So that's my project name. That's a simple job. Whom do you want to send the email? So default recipients means in the previous slide where I have mentioned default recipient, you want to send it to them. Reply to is again what I have put there. Default content, default subject, default content, some attachment if you want to send it. Do not send build logs. I'll say yes, send the build logs, attach the build log and send it to the end user. And then go to advanced setting and say, when would you like to send the email? So here it is saying failure any. If there is a failure, then only send it. I will say add trigger, always send an email. Obviously, if you always send an email, it will become too much. But for just demo purpose, I'm saying always send an email. I don't have any developers, so I'm removing them. In the recipient list, I have my email. So this email should go to this guy. Apply, save. So what will happen now is if I go and build this project, so this code will run, build number 4. See here, it says no emails were triggered. Okay, and this is the one email. Now here it says email was triggered for always, sending email, and the email was sent to this guy. And finally, it finished successfully. It means that I should have received an email from Jenkins. Okay, not yet. Let me try to run it again. So basically first time, maybe there is something which might have missed. Fifth time or fifth build, let's go to console output. Okay, so it is saying no emails were triggered. Okay, so what I will do is I'll make a small change here. I'll come here, back to the project, configure, and post build action. So I will just make a small change here. I will say advanced setting. I don't want it always. I will rather say that if there is a failure, if there is a failure, then you need to send an email to who is the build user recipient list. Okay, and in the recipient list, just let me content, default subject, content, attachment, build logs, priest, and groovy class path. Okay, so I have told that if there is a failure, then you send the email to this recipient list. Apply, save. So if there is a failure, so I will induce a failure here. So I'll again make the same change. Apply, save. Let's run it. Build now. So I'm assuming that this time the job will fail, which has failed. Come here, console output. I don't know why this message I'm getting. Building in workspace, no emails were triggered. Then this failed. Email was triggered for failure any, sending email and email sent. But is it going to my spam folder? No, it is not going to my spam folder. But here it is saying that I'm sending emails to you. Just let me come back and see. Is it like the recipient is having a problem? Configure. Post build action. Recipient. Okay, in the recipient, rather than giving the default recipient, I'll give my email address and print. So sometimes these problems may happen. So the seventh build. Hey, no. I will go to console output. And as per this, the email is being sent. But the strange thing is I'm not receiving any emails. So there is some security feature which is blocking my emails from Jenkins. Give me a second. I'll just go back and see what have I missed. So back to manage Jenkins, global tool configuration. Sorry, not here, here. So definitely I missed some small stuff. That's why it's not going through. Some security feature is replied to default recipient emergency reroute. In emergency reroute also I'll give my this thing pre-send, post-send, enable debug. Okay, so I'll put it like this. Always I want to send an email and just apply, save. And then let's go inside the job, inside configure section. In post build action, I have said system project reply to default content, default subject, attachment, attach build logs, advanced setting, and failure is any, send to recipient list. If you want, I can add build user, but build user email address is not configured. So that is all what is needed, right? Advanced. So recipient list, just give me the email address here also. Okay, apply, save. Let's run it again. Build now. So I'm assuming at least this time I should receive the email. So 8th build, console output. So it has failed. and still the same issue. Okay, let me just do one more small thing. Configure, and let me come here first. Dashboard, manage Jenkins, configure system. So let me test if it is working or not, okay? Or have I missed anything? So what I'm trying to do is use SSL. SMTP port is 465. Like to address is this. TLS, SSL, TLS. Reply to, it says test. Let me test this configuration. Authentication required. Use SMTP authentication, username, password. Okay. So let me come here again. Test configuration. Yes. So this time I was able to test it. Apply, save. So let me come here and check. Okay. So there is a test email which came to me, and if you come here and see, it has been sent to me by Jenkins. Test email 2. Okay. Now what I'll try to do here is I'll come back to my job and try to build it again. Let's see this time if it is throwing me a message or it is not able to. I'm still not able to understand why is it saying this particular thing. Last thing what I'll try now is go back. I'll just delete this job. Okay, I'll create this job again. Ideally there should be no problem with the job. Email job. It's a freestyle project. Okay, I will say email job. Okay, I'll go with build and go here and say execute shell. I will say echo new job, and here in post build action for time being I will use this email notification. Okay, send email for every unstable build, send separate. Okay, so unstable build, apply, save, and let's build this job. So this job is running. Console output. Okay, so here this job it was trying to run and then says that there is a failure, and it should have sent an email to this. Okay, yes, build failed, and then it was able to send the message. Now I'll do one more thing. So this was the simple email which I have sent. I'll also try to customize it a bit. So configure post build action. So I don't want the simple email notification. So I will take this out. Post build action. I'll go to this editable email notification, and I will come here and say send it to default recipient. I will give my email address here. Reply to default content attachment. I will say attach the build log, add advanced settings. Come here, come here, come here. Say cross this, filter, say always send this to this recipient, and I'll add one more trigger. I will say if there is a failure, any, then you should send the email to the default recipient list. Wait a second. Whom would you like to send? Recipient list. Apply, save. Let's try to build it. So it has failed. Let's go to the console output. So this is a problem. I don't understand this problem. So no emails were triggered. Why this is happening, I don't know. But here I can very well see that the emails are being sent. So there is some problem here. I don't exactly understand why is this saying no emails were triggered. Okay, what I'll do is I'll debug it in the background, but we'll continue with the class. So configure last try. If it works, well and good. Doesn't work, I'll park it aside for time being. So it is smtp.gmail.com 465. No problem, we can consider it as no, wait. It is not considered as wait a second. SMTP port is 465. Email notification, SFTP server is this thing. SMTP authentication, check on SMTP authentication. Have I done this? SMTP user. Check on SMTP authentication. Username, use SSL. So use, okay, I think I missed this thing. Use SSL I was not doing. Okay. Then, sorry. Port is 465. List ID. Plain text. This all looks okay to me. Apply, save. So this is the last try. If it works, very good. Doesn't work, I'll park it aside, use it later or show you later. Fourth build, console output, same problem. So it is not sending an email, but here I'm getting a message that the email has been sent. So for time being, let's consider that the email was sent, and you can see here. Now you're able to see the email. See here. So this is a customized message which I was sending. So now it is working. Okay. Come on, man. So this is such an idiotic thing. Back to project. See here, the fourth build. Okay. So the fourth build. So let me come back here. So fourth build, it sent a message to me. Now I'm building it again. So build now. So the fifth build. So for the fifth build, I received a message. This is what I had given. Hi developer. This is automated email from Jenkins admin. And this is what I had added. And this is what the build log is. Basically, it is telling you what is the detail, why it failed. So it is telling you the details. Okay. So sometimes these softwares may behave weirdly because If you see here, I did not receive anything for first, second, third, and from fourth I started receiving. So I don't know what happened, what went wrong in the background, but that was how it is. Fine. Now, so we can send email notifications. So that is done. Now, what I will say is that there is a possibility that you will have a different set of users, or there can be a scenario where you say that, okay, there is a developer who doesn't need this kind of access, or there is an admin who needs this access. There is a tester who doesn't need this access. So in case there are different set of users, so I have to allocate different set of permissions to them. Okay, and based on their roles, they will go ahead and do their task. So if I come to my available, I will look for something called role based, see here, role based authorization strategy. So I am looking for this role based authorization strategy. So just let me check if in my installed I have something. So in installed, I don't have any role based kind of thing. So I'll go to my available, and in available, I will look for this role based authorization strategy. Now it says enable users to authorize role based strategy. Roles can be defined globally or for a particular project or for a node, and you can use regular expressions. So before coming to this, I would like to show you something. So this is role-based authorization strategy. Before coming here, I'll go to my manage Jenkins. I will go to this place, configure global security. And here, first is like whenever you save the password, it prompts what you like to remember. So disable that remember me thing. I don't want that thing to pop up always. Security realm. Here, delegate a servlet container. So if you're using container and all, you can use this. But as of now, I'm not doing anything like that. Here I'm saying Jenkins will have its own username and database. And if you do like this, allow users to sign up. It means users can come here and sign up and create their own account. But I don't want that thing to happen. I want that I as an admin will take care of that and allocate users whatever they need. LDAP. So let me say you are using SSO kind of thing. So your company is providing you AWS account. It is providing you Jenkins account. It is providing you Kubernetes account. So they will only give you a username and password, and that will be managed by this LDAP. If you're using some Unix server, there you have a username and password, then probably you will be using this. If you say none, it is kind of blunder. It means you don't have any authentication and you're simply allowing anybody to go in and go out. I will not do anything like that. I'll go with this thing. Then if you come here, it says authorization. Once anyone can do anything. That's a stupid thing. Why should I allow anyone to do anything? Legacy mode, some legacy applications are working. Then you can say logged in users can do anything. No, I don't want that thing to happen. Rather, I want that I will decide who will do what. Metrics-based security, project-based metrics authorization strategy. So what I will do is, see here, you will get one more option here, okay, once I install that plugin. So let me just go back to my dashboard, leave this, come back to manage Jenkins, come to manage plugins, and in available section, this role-based strategy is there, right? Role-based strategy. Just go ahead and install this plugin. How? So just say download and install, and just click on this restart. Your machine will get restarted. Just wait for some time, it will. So it is still pending. So these two items are pending. Once this is done, it will restart my application. So let's wait for 2 minutes, and then once it is done, we'll see. And let me come here and refresh. Okay, so I guess it is done. So I'll say admin and Jenkins 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think the restart is still pending.
click on this restart. See here, it is working. Let me just wait for this restart to happen. So restarting Jenkins is pending, so should not be that much time taking. So let's wait for 2 minutes and the restart to happen. Okay, so that's done. I'll say admin and I'll say Jenkins 1, 2, 3. Sign in. If you see now that remember me thing is not coming here, okay? Anyhow, so now I have installed the plugin. Go to manage Jenkins. Go to this configure global security. Seriously, it is very slow today. Generally, it will not be this much slow. Okay, come here. See here, you found a new option here, role-based strategy. Click on this and just say apply, save. Now, the moment you do something like this, here you will find a new option called manage and assign roles. Click on this. The first is manage roles. Click on this. What role you have. So as of now, I only have one role, which is admin. I can add more roles like that. My team will have developers, and my team will have testers, my team will have managers, fine. So these are the roles which I have defined. You can define n number of roles. It is up to you. Now, each role is going to act as a group. So as a group of developers, what access would you like to give to them? Would you like to give them admin access? Definitely no. Would you like to give them read access? So overall read access everyone should have, because if they don't have read access, they will not be able to see anything. So they should have read access. Then credentials, should they go ahead and create credentials? No. Why should a developer go and create a credential? Chalo, somehow I say that developer is going to create a credential, but tester and manager, no, they cannot create a credential, they cannot delete, they cannot manage the domain name, they cannot update. But yes, if they want, they can view the content. Okay. Then there is something called agent. Now, agent is nothing but it is the worker node. So just going forward, I will teach you what is agent, how worker node and master node work together. So as of now, for agent, just leave everything. I'm not touching anything. Come on this job level. So job is nothing but the task. Can a developer build the job? Yes. Can he cancel? Yes. Can he configure? Can he create? Can he delete, discover, move, read? For my tester, I will just say he can read the job. Manager also can read the job, but he can also, the tester can also build the job. When you have built a job, would you like to run it? So I will say uh, workspace, yes. Okay. And view, can he create a view? So I can say read access. Chalo, I'm giving read access. Okay. And that's it. So more or less my tester and my manager has same access. Okay. But my developer has more access and the admin has most of it, or he has almost all the access. So that's it. Apply, save. Now you assign roles. So these roles you need to assign. So there are developers, managers, testers, and admin. So it says Vikas is a admin. Now user, let me share the user is Sam. add. What is Sam going to do? So Sam for me, let me say, is a developer. This I'll remove anonymous. Then let me say Cindy. Sorry, assign roles. So Sam I have to define. I'll do that. Cindy, add, and Pete, add. So Pete for me is my manager. Cindy is my tester. Anonymous I'm going to remove. Vikas is my admin, and Sam is my developer. Just go down and say apply, save. Then I will go back here to my manage Jenkins, and I'll come to this manage users. So I only have one user, but if you remember there I created more users. So one of the user is Sam. His password is pass123, pass123. Full name is Sam, and his email is sam@gmail.com. Done. One more user, Cindy. Password is pass123, pass123. Full name is Cindy. Email is cindy@gmail.com. Last user. So Pete. Password is pass123, pass123. Full name is Pete, pete@gmail.com. Great user. Check password. Chrome, close all these things. Never. Fine. So what I've done is I've created these users. Come back here. Come back to the dashboard. Back to manage Jenkins. If you come here to global security, sorry, if you come here to this place, which is again I went there. I want to go here, manage and assign roles, and here when I come to assign roles, I can see earlier there was a cross, but now there's nothing like that. Everybody is having a proper permission. Now let me say Vikas, who is the admin, is logging off, and Pete is trying to log in. So it says Pete is missing overall read write permission. So he doesn't have any permission. So for him, he's not able to log in. So Pete is able to log in, but he's not able to see anything. How about Cindy? Cindy, I guess I gave more permission. Cindy, pass123. Okay, so I'll give overall read permission to Cindy. Just log out from here. Because Jenkins 1, 2, 3. Ready? Okay, admin. Okay, let me go to manage Jenkins. Manage this thing. Manage roles. So overall read permission I had given, right? Managers, testers, admin. Credentials, jobs. Okay, view access I'll give. Okay, read access I've given. Read access I've given. Read access I've given to everyone. Okay, dashboard. Manage Jenkins. Manage users. Cindy, C caps, C small, Pete, Sam. So everything is small letter. Okay, go back. Come here, assign roles. Cindy, Pete. Okay, this looks good. Apply, save. So just log out. Let's try Cindy again. Cindy, pass123. Okay, Cindy has denied. Okay, Sam, let's try Sam pass 1 2 3. Right, overall permission denied. Why? Just let me go inside admin Jenkins 1 2 3. Manage Jenkins, manage users. Okay, users are okay. See, come out. Not this one. Manage roles. See, overall read access is there. Create access, delete access, agent, job, run, view. Okay, so I'm giving them view access. Okay, lockable SCM lockable resource view. They can run. So as a developer, you cannot administer, but you can create credentials, update, view. So I think this should work. Roles to add, item roles, apply, save. Okay, and then back to manage Jenkins, back to global configuration. Here I'm saying role based, this is okay. Manage assign roles, testers, managers, developers. This is also okay. Apply, save. Let's try again. About Sam pass 1 2 3. Sam is missing overall read permission, but I've given read permission. About admin Jenkins 1 2 3. Give me a second. The system is behaving weird today. Project based strategy, that's okay. Not using this, not using this. I'm using role based strategy, that's perfectly okay. Save all these things. Come here and say I have these users Cindy, Pete, Sam. That's also okay. Cindy, Pete, Sam. Perfectly okay. Manage Jenkins. Manage and assign roles. If I go to manage roles, developers, managers, testers. Administrator I don't want to give, but global roles, so they should be able to read. I've given them read access. Developers have read access, managers have, testers have, admin has. If I give them admin access, then that's a different story altogether. So I'm giving all of them read access. Overall read access is allocated to everyone. Then come here and say create, delete, build, no, agent. Okay, let me say they will be able to connect, build, create, delete, discover, move, read, run, view, view of access also I'm giving to them. Apply, save, then assign roles, testers, managers, thing. logout Sam pass 123. This is strange. Sam is missing a overall read permission. No, that's not the case. Okay, this machine is giving me troubles today. Admin Jenkins 123. Let me do one thing. I'll try it again. So what I'll do is I'll go to people. I will delete these guys. Manage Jenkins. I'll just quickly do it again. Should not give me a trouble like this, but due to some reason it is. So let me just Cindy gone, Pete gone, Sam gone, Vikas stays as it is. Apply, save. Manage roles. Manager gone, tester gone, developers gone. Apply and save. Then back here to manage Jenkins. Manage users. I'm going to delete all these users. So I will come here and say delete this user Cindy. Manage Jenkins again. Manage users. I'm going to delete this user again. Manage Jenkins. People. Sam. Delete. Yes. Okay. Manage Jenkins. Again, I'll do the same thing. So I will have multiple users. Let me say John, John, John. Password is pass123 and pass123. Full name is John and his email address is john at the rate one at the rate gmail.com. Okay, close. I'll create one more user, name it as Andy. Password is pass123. Pass123. Full name is Andy and email is andy at the rate gmail.com. Okay, so I've created two users. Back to dashboard, manage Jenkins. I'll go to this location. I will say manage roles. So I'll create two roles. I will say developer, developer, and tester. Okay, so I will give both of them overall read access. Read access, I'll give them credentials. This guy can create, delete. Agent, this guy can do anything. Manage domain also. And jobs, he can do everything. Configure, create, run. So basically, almost every permission I'm giving to this developer. View also he can do. And here I'm only giving the read access to my tester. Manage domains, no. Build, view, yes. Connect, yes. Okay, so I'm giving some selected access to my tester. Okay, looks okay. Apply, save, then assign roles. Come out of this. Once again, before coming here, I'll just check one thing. Manage Jenkins, the names are correct or not. So Andy A caps, John J caps. Back to dashboard, manage Jenkins, assign roles, come out, John, and Andy, and I'll say John is tester for me and Andy is developer. That's it. Log out and let me log in as Andy. Pass 1, 2, 3. Yes. So this time Andy is able to log in, and as an Andy user, if you see, I have limited views because he's a developer. He's able to create a job. Okay. He will be in a position to delete this job. See here, he gets the option to delete the job. He can see who are there in the system, but manage Jenkins option is not available for him. So he has limited access. Similarly, when I log out, and this time I log in as John, and I log in as pass 1, 2, 3, I can see. So this guy John, he's not able to see the previous jobs which we have, and he will not be able to will he be able to create a job? So yes, he's able to create a job, but he's not able to see the stuffs which we have done previously. So if you come to dashboard, he's not able to see anything. But when I log out and log in back as Andy, he's able to see this job. He's able to delete and run this job. And the thing is that he doesn't see the build, the manage Jenkins option. So he sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. But the moment I go and log in as admin and Jenkins 1, 2, 3, see here I see 7 options. So this manage Jenkins option was not available because I did not give them that kind of permission. Fine. So we'll stop here today. So we saw 2 things here today. First is how to install Jenkins. And once the Jenkins is up and running, how to go ahead and install plugins on top of that. Once you install plugins, your overall functionality of Jenkins changes and Jenkins start behaving like that particular tool. Okay, so we installed 2 plugins, role-based authentication metrics and extended email notification. In coming forward, we will talk about the distributed build which we get from. So this is what we saw. We were sending email notifications. So whenever there is a build failure, the developer receives an email, or any kind of failure, the developer receives an email. So this is what we have done. And then we talked about manage roles. So how can I create multiple users and give them permissions so that they can go ahead and create and log into the environment as per the requirement. Okay, so these are the 2 things which we have done. In the coming class, we will see how can I set up a Jenkins master slave configuration, which is something like this, or also called as master worker node configuration. And I will have one master who will be managing multiple worker nodes. And then we will be talking about pipeline jobs. What is a pipeline job? So tomorrow we'll be covering all these things. So any doubts, any questions, the platform is open for you. Please go ahead if you have any questions. Okay, no worries. There are no questions here. So I'll just drop now and we'll continue from tomorrow. See you guys. Bye-bye.